Hello, everybody. We are live. Are we dark? Why we look so dark? We are live. How you been? How you been? I know I did not see you all Tuesday. I am aware I did not see you all Tuesday. Yes, we are live. Thank you for the notification. I did not see you all Tuesday. I am about to get into it. Let me first do the disclaimer. Let's not forget about that. Make sure. I always like a little setup in the beginning. Let's make sure. Hold up. First, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's the real question. Let me test that right quick. I hate to be 30, 40 minutes in and you can't hear me. Is it? Oh, is it not right here? Hmm. Yeah, I can hear that wash machine and dryer. That's my good girl. Alice got that wash and dryer on. Yeah, I can hear it. Let me turn it. I can hear echo a little bit. All right. So disclaimer, y'all can hear me, which is good. There's my headphone. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Sound like it. All right. Disclaimer, of course, the video is presented here for informational purposes only. Remember that I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution during this live stream. Not to confuse you, but I am academic advisor. But in this case, I am representing, speaking on behalf. I'm not representing no institution. So if you hear anything about an institution, please do your own research, call the school, talk to a specialist, and see for yourself. I am just speaking from experience. Okay. Disclaimer. All right. Now that we got that out the way. Uh, I was just singing J. Cole, on my way, on my way, on my way down. I don't know why that song was in my. I probably heard it and then didn't realize that it was in my head. So I'm 18, and what should I do? What is best for my future? I was thinking about that as a recently because Tuesday, the reason we didn't live stream is that we was back home speaking with kids at the Boys and Girls Club, which is very good. And a lot of them are curious about the future of their life, which is a very good thing. Because I remember when I was their age, I was not curious about my future. It's always rejoicing to be in person versus speaking through a camera, not having no response, no one in the comment section sometimes. So it's always a great feeling I'm doing something while I'm talking. It's always a great feeling to remember that there are kids, there are families, there are people out there who are looking for this type of information. Sometimes it's not in our control. If I say that right, it's not in our, it's like, as I would say, it's out of our locus of control because you got to pay for advertisement, you got to pay for marketing to make sure your information is being pushed in front of people. You have to pay for that nowadays, right? And so I think it's best to old school it sometimes, get in front of the people and just, go back to the basics, community work, networking, really networking, like not getting pictures like, oh man, get a picture, y'all, or y'all just gotta go off my word. And so those are always good. And it was a great feeling, great experience. I'm gonna show y'all a picture through the live screen. Got to make y'all work for that and sit through that. I'm gonna show y'all a picture where I was speaking and took a picture in front of their sign, which was very good. But let's get into our topic, right? So staying on topic, what should you do? You're 18, you're thinking about what's best for your future, right? This is more like I'm not looking at data. This is really for me, as I feel like what you should do as an 18-year-old. If you're 18, and as I said in the post on LinkedIn, if mostly nobody probably seen it yet, but I said, people like me are always pushing college, right? And college is not for everybody. We hear that, but really, genuinely, some kids want to go to college. Some kids are like, college is too expensive. Like, I want to access it, but college, the prices are not going down if you are planning to go to a university, right? So maybe you should just go straight into the workforce. The reason I wanted to mention this and talk about this real quick was because you have to do everything based on your situation. And I'm not speaking as an expert, I'm more speaking as I would consider myself being successful. I will say that humbly and respectfully, that you have to do what's best for yourself. You can't do what your professor wants you to do, what I want you to do, your parents want you to do, because a lot of times people just make decisions based on what they want best for you to protect you. And they don't never think, like, they say go military, but they don't know you can get blowed up, right? Just a prime example, because I know my mom wanted me to go military. They wanted me to go straight in the workforce, but maybe they didn't think about how much labor and back and stuff that can have an effect on me. Well, my dad mentioned that. He said, you better go. He said, if anything, you go to college and you can get a desk job. So that worked out perfectly. He was right about that. He was actually one of the first. He is the first person to believe in me and going to college. I remember like yesterday when I was sitting in front of my 2-year college, nervous about taking math, English, those classes. I took them separately. I didn't take them at the same time. So that's some advice for you all. Never take math and English in the same semester. Split them up. It gives you a lighter workload. And so he was one of the people that believed in me before I believed in myself in that. And then the rest is history. And so you really have to do what's best for yourself, man. You 18, like, you got military knocking down your door if you took the test. You probably got colleges knocking down the door. You got me knocking down your door, trying to get you to go to a 2-year college. You got options, right? And you're trying to make the best one. The best one is to always set yourself up for the future. You learn about finances a little bit. I know it's all on social media. I told the kids that. I was like, a lot of this information y'all probably heard, besides the education part that I'm talking about, like stock market, Ross, all this stuff, because the sooner you start, the better. But people often think that you need a high paying career. Now, I do think you need a good amount of money, truthfully, with the way things are going up. I understand that. But sometimes you just have to lower your spending power. Like, me and my bro talk about it all the time. Like, man, like you just got to stop spending. Like, I always say we, even though it's not me, I always say we because everything is a team. If I associate with you, like, we always have to stop spending so much. Like, we have to stop buying food. They're raising up the food prices. We got to stop. When I say food, restaurant, you can buy groceries, but stop going out to restaurants so much. Stop going out and partying. That costs money. Stop buying shots and drinks. That costs money. And you want to know the fun fact about it? This does not exclude college students. This is what college students should be doing. I think college students should go back to the basics. They probably still do it, but I doubt it. College students should go back to the basics of throwing, having like gatherings in their dorm rooms or certain places. Like meetups, go like do something free, like go to the library and do it. You can't be as loud. Get a study room, like, and y'all can have like a gathering study room party. That would be dope, actually. Kind of mad. I didn't think about that when I was in college, but that would be pretty dope. Book a room in the college library and use the study room as a like lounge area to chill and talk about college and stress about college, complain about college. Cause I know I have rants all day about professors and schoolwork, unnecessary things that I'm doing. And I'm like, So what does this all lead to? This leads to what we're going to talk about with how you can maximize the return on investment of college. We got some things with Linda. So I got like 30 some minutes to cook up. The goal is always to be 45 minutes and out. But let's see how the lung treat us. The lung is getting better. Physical therapy going great. Shout out to my physical therapist. TJ Clyde, that's my brother, man. He is doing me right. Like, that really is my brother. He is really treating me right on this journey, treating me like a baby and working my way back up. So that's been a journey in itself. We actually got recording on that. I ain't even unloaded. And so I could have showed y'all a little bit of that real quick, but that's going to get posted on the hospital documentary that we're doing. And I'm thinking about getting somebody professionally to put the documentary together for the hospital and everything, having somebody do it better. And I think I got the person who would be pretty good to do that for that particular thing. That's going to be dope. So let's keep going. Henry, you never seem to let me down. Guys, I put the screen up and I didn't put the sound on it because I'm going to show y'all Linda and stuff. I did it again because I was showing y'all Linda and Linda said some stuff. Let me see. You know what's interesting? Doing higher ed news and media, it's kind of like the stock market sometimes because I don't know what's going on sometimes. I have to really theoretically, unless I got it in bold writing, I have to really just like paint a picture, a piece of art picture sometimes. So CNBC made a post today, as you can see 10 hours later. They said something about liberal arts and education majors tend to earn some of the lowest salaries right after college. This is a shot at me. I work in higher education in the college. And so they said we tend to have some of the lowest salaries right after college. That is true. And I knew this soon. I knew this way early when I was working at my 2-year college back when I was like 18 and 19, being exposed to, shout out to the people I was working with when I was 18 and 19 at my 2-year college. Shout out to them, man, because they was giving me a lot of game naturally because everybody was educated. Everybody had bachelor degrees and up. Like the room, let me tell you. So the way it went was like they looked down on you if you only had a bachelor's. That's how many educated people I was around. I was around people when I was 18 who had masters and PhDs early, and I didn't really understand the value of being around those people because they set a bar so high for me that, you know, looking back at it, I ended up getting my master's. I still haven't framed it, so we're just gonna keep pulling it up whenever we get a chance. You know, I got my master's. And so I think that's a dope way to think about it. And so remember that even though the job was not paying as much, I remember I was only making like $8 an hour, then $10 an hour, then went Air Force Reserves, and then came back, got a decent job in Valdosta, making like 30-some thousand a year. And so it helped me realize that I knew my career field didn't pay much. So that's why I started working early. Like a lot of people think like, man, my job ain't gonna pay none when I graduate and I go into the workforce. Start working early. Like start working in your career field early and building experience so that when you do graduate, you can fight for a more than average salary. Because believe it or not, the job I'm in, you don't step into a job like being a professional higher education. You don't normally step into that type of job. Like they changing a little bit. Some people are being more open to it, but you don't really step into it until you like 30. Honestly, they constantly hire 35 and plus up. But I feel like they watching my live screens because, man, they've been hiring a lot of younger people. I'm talking about younger, fresh out of college, fresh out of undergraduate. It's interesting. So they said based on the 2024 U.S. Census data, if I said it right, census data, the most recent available, the analysis shows that full-time workers ages 22 to 27 who major in theology, performing arts, social services, and education report some of the lowest median earnings early in their careers. Now, I do have this pulled up. Where is it? Hold on. Did it disappear? Oh, it's right here. It gets me every time. All right. Let me see. All right. So right here, it says the 14 worst paying college majors 5 years after graduation. Why did I say 5 years after graduation? Because the College Scorecard does 10 years after graduation. They did 5. It's crazy. Let's see. So I did read this one. This one was not long. Usually CNBC doesn't make articles or post blogs and stuff that long. But I won't say it's a blog because they use credible information. They always citate everything. They're very credible, at least from a marketplace perspective, right? They always. So a little bit of this we already read, and then they said right after college, according to the federal report, according to a February report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, based on 2024 census data, the most recent available. The analysis shows that full-time workers ages 22, 27 majoring in theology, like we said, boom, boom, boom. Hit it out with the J. Cole, boom, 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 boom. And then graduates with these degrees all earn a median of $45,000 a year or less. And so below the individual U.S. median income, 45,140, according to Census Bureau data. This is highly accurate. I'm gonna leave it at that. This is highly accurate. Highly accurate. And so it says that teachers and other education professionals are typically paid by the state and local governments. Now, what I tell people, which they say in this, even though we get paid, I guess, mediocre and below people's standards, we're going to have a job through thick and thin. We're going to have a job through thick and thin. Some jobs be tripping. No offense. Georgia Tech, my whole past job. But some jobs be tripping sometimes. They be expecting that they think you make 60, 70K for some reason, but you only make it 40 some. And they work you like like crazy. And it just don't make no sense. And so as we keep going, they say, as we saw, it says where wage growth tends to lag the private sector. While those roles often offer job stability, defined pensions, and summer breaks, because some teachers get summer breaks, which is nice. But in higher education, we don't. It says a 2025 report from the Economic Policy Institute finds that teachers earn less than other college-educated workers. Now we go fast forward. In contrast, most engineering majors make $75,000 a year or more, $75,000 or more in 5 years after graduating from college. So remember that they're saying 5 years after graduating from college. They said that in the headline. So we have to keep remembering that they're talking 5 years after college. So as we keep going, they said those median income rise to 100,000 or more by ages 35 to 45, with chemical engineering majors earning the most at 135,000 annually. So I always like to keep in mind before we get into like the salaries down here and the salaries and the majors and all that good stuff. If you make $100,000 a year, but you live on $200,000, technically somebody like me who makes 45,000, but I live on like 10,000, if that, if I'm not mistaken. I live on $3,000, like spending wise. I don't think I live on that. Jesus, I live on like 1,500, 1,000, if that, because bills really. I am making more than you, technically. They don't ever talk about that though. And I know they won't talk about that. But we have to realize that because people get caught up in the like, the more money I make, and this is from a college perspective. This is not from a finance perspective. Like education teaches, while I love my liberal arts major with a focus in higher education for a master's degree, right? Is that you learn the real exemplification of patience is virtue. You understand that I'm going to make money as I get older and better myself. You just understand that. Why is that important? Because they mentioned that educators don't make much. They said within the 5 years of graduating, but they never in this article. But if I'm talking about it, educators, I am an educator. We make so much more in the future. Remember, I told you college presidents make $1 million or more a year. When I was speaking to the kids on Tuesday, shout out to the kids, bless their heart. I said, guys, y'all know what a president is, right? Yeah, but I was like, not president of the United States. I was like, a college president. Told them about a college president, right? And then I said, how much you think they make? Sure, some of them said 30,000. They were way off. Bless their heart. And then some of them said 40, 50. I was like, shoot, someone said 90. I was like, shoot, I wish. I wish because, like, of course, that could be more money back to the school in some cases. I said, okay, guys, that's enough. College presidents at universities make $1 million a year. And I said, you know what is even more funny? I said that all they did was go to college and have good public speaking skills, great public speaking skills. I said a college president makes $1 million a year. Now, I know I get on to college presidents about making too much money, and I feel like they should get capped at $250,000 a year. But universities can deal with that problem and keep dealing with that problem as long as they want. But what I'm saying is that is the value of education. Like, people never talk about how much professors make. Now, depending on the school, they might not make nothing really. But in most cases, professors, definitely when they get their doctoral, make guap. They ain't fooling me. They can't fool me with anything. And so, yeah. Information that we should talk about. Conversations we should have. But these are not popular. I like to say these are unpopular opinion conversations, according to the college and higher education. And so one day I would think I would be on a panel to state my perspective on college and talk to university leaders and sit on panels, and we all just discuss our perspective on like how to go to college and determine the best route for kids and, you know, do that type of stuff, because I'm not being challenged. I'm not being challenged. I'm not being fact checked. I'm not being, as you would say, put in your place, which is I would think that's I don't know what type of tactic that is. I think universities are really, I don't know, like, figure it out. That's all I got to say. Because I know the real truth. I did the research for 2 years. Ain't nothing changed, bro. Like, ain't nothing changed. That's stagnation is the worst thing that could ever happen to something. So as we get into it, though, here are the 14 majors that lead to the lowest median incomes for workers ages 22 to 27. They got pharmacy. Man, pharmacy is crazy. Now, they do mention later into this that this is focused on undergraduate. Once you go into getting your doctoral of pharmacy after undergraduate, for my people out there who don't know, undergraduate is your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, like when you first go to college. Think of when you see athletes in college playing sports. Yeah, undergraduate. They all in undergraduate. Some of them will be in graduate, but that's after undergraduate. And then in graduate, that's where pharmacy, they take it to the next level and get their doctoral pharmacy. You got theology and religion. A lot of theology and religion people do come work and be professors, but remember, this is focused on undergraduate. You got social services. That is so true, especially in Georgia. They do not make much, really. But with time and experience, they do make something. Performing arts. I think help me out later if you comment. I think performance arts is like dance, singing and stuff, or theater and stuff. But they say performing arts makes 44,000 first when they first get out of college. If you go to school for performing arts, I would say have a minor in something that can be like accounting, or y'all know I'm more like in that business and social area, like something like accounting, something that can get you a job somewhere else while you focus on your performing arts career. I think that's a good idea. Then you got general education. That's like me. You see, I'm one of the lowest coming out of college, but you know, as I tell you all, sometimes I like to bring it back up. When I was in school, when I was getting refund checks in school, and I was working part-time, then full-time while I was in college, I was putting the money in the stock market. So I knew I wasn't going to make much when I graduated college. So that was why I always tell students that, hey, if you're going to do this college thing, you got to work part-time, full-time. You can't be like, yeah, you're going to miss more money because you want to take a full-time job. But like I said, I kept putting my college education first before money, short-term money, because now I have great flexibility at my current job. I have a lot more leisure, you would say. So always remember that while you're going to school, if you got 1,000, you get $2,000 or $3,000. As I like to say, if you get 3,000, shoot, put 2,500 of it into get you a financial advisor and put like 2,500 like in the index. Say, hey, financial advisor, I need an index so I could just keep putting this money here while I'm in college. That's like the best thing I would recommend. And so, but disclaimer, that's not me. Go to your financial advisor because you ain't finna sue me. So early childhood education, yeah, that's what my mom did. Nothing changed with early childhood education. Elementary education, shout out to elementary education. I actually want to do something with elementary now. I'm gonna visit my old elementary school. I actually want to do something. I think it'd be good, great community work. Liberal arts, that's also me. That's what I went to school for in undergraduate, actually, before going to get my master's. Liberal arts, that's pretty much like, you're like, what do you do with a liberal arts major? So for my people out there who probably wonder, like, what do you do with liberal arts? Like, what do y'all learn in there? I think that is not what I said, but let me see, liberal arts. So like liberal arts, as I keep going, I'm gonna come back to that. Biology don't make much. I can't speak for biology. I know in undergraduate, according to CNBC, you don't make much when you first graduate undergraduate. But I'm pretty sure the more education you get and you go get a doctoral in biology, that it'll be worth it, I think. I don't know. I have to get a biologist and let them know how the market is to them. Leisure and hospitality. That sounds like business, and because hospitality is usually in business and stuff. That's like hotels, restaurants, and all that. Psychology majors and undergraduate, you're not making much. But as you go get your doctoral in psychology, you're gonna be straight. You're gonna be straight. Look into that. Psychology is not bad, but you just gotta know at the end of the day, you most likely gonna need to get your doctoral to take it to another level. Masters could probably get you well, do you very well, but definitely doctoral. Anthropology. I don't know much about anthropology. I heard of it. I don't know much about it though. Art history. Y'all know how people feel about art. Not me, but y'all know how people feel about art. So that's all I could leave it at with that. Then fine arts. What the heck? We got like 3 art majors on here. I can't you not. It's like 3 art majors on here that they say are the lowest fresh after undergraduate, which is crazy. Performing arts, art history, fine arts. So for my people out there who majoring in art, you might want to, talk to the advisor. And going on with the Trump administration, if art not giving you a great return on, if it's not giving that school or them students a great return on investment once they report it, you probably won't be able to get no aid, no extra money to fund you to even do that major. So it's kind of like they're dictating you to do majors that are performing well. But honestly, that is another conversation for another live stream. So real quick before I jump to Linda, but they said right here, it's worth noting that these figures reflect workers whose highest degree is a bachelor's. So the data does not include licensed pharmacy, for example. And then, like I was saying, they said pharmacies. I don't know why they specifically went to pharmacy. And then they actually got more on here. Is this? Oh, let's see. Instead, education fields remain clustered near the bottom a decade into workers' careers. And then here's a look at 15 majors held by full-time workers ages 35 to 45 who report the lowest median earnings, all below 75,000. So 35 to 45. I'm not going to go into detail with these. I didn't even know this was down here. This is 35 to 45. These are not bad, though. Some people might say you're crazy. This is not enough, but man, if you live below your means, though, for me, live below your means, keep investing. If you know how to invest in some form of fashion, this is not terrible. But this is based on 35 to what? 35 to what? 45. So like I started investing early so I can see a different perspective for somebody who needs more if they haven't been exposed to that or had that. And that's pretty much it. And then you see that. All right. So now we're finna go to Linda. And then, so they got that a liberal arts major is an interdisciplinary undergraduate program focusing on humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and arts to develop critical thinking, communication, and analytical skills. Now, somebody might say, bro, what is that again? You're still not telling me what it is. So hopefully this helps. So this is true. Popular liberal art majors and fields. When I did it at VSU, Valdosta State University, they had a pretty good program. I felt like it could have been better, but it was pretty good. Like we hit on like everything. It's like an all-around degree. We hit it on English and literature. We definitely wrote papers like crazy. We definitely did psychology. We studied like human behavior a lot. Like I remember talking about the onion layer model, theories, perspectives. I'm like very understanding of all people. Like even I see the good in bad people, which is why I love it, because how I grew up, I seen kids who were kids with me, go to a different route in life, but I understand their purity still, and I understand why they do the things they do, versus that a cop or somebody, for example, who don't understand the way they are, just for example, who don't understand why they became the person they became. Nobody ever backtracks like, how did this start and how did they get here? Because nobody is, well, I can't speak for everybody, but most people are not just naturally born evil. There's usually some things behind it. So then you go into the history. We analyze past events and trends, kind of why I always talk about history repeats. Know the history, try to understand things, get to the root. And then sociology, we examine, like I said, social society. Political, we definitely talk about politics and government. It's just all these things, and they mix it together in a pot, and it's a great major, man. It's like, of course, like I feel like you do that in undergraduate, you're definitely gonna have to go and get like a master's probably, or a doctoral. But if you get, like, some people do this major and go straight into politics, and politics can be a very rewarding career as you advance yourself in politics. Same in education. Like if I wanted to keep advancing myself working in colleges, depending what school I work in, I could become a president at a university if I got my doctoral. Now, the 2-year, you just need a master's, I believe, to be a president, but you get what I'm going with this. So I like to mention that because that's my major. My major gets, even though I talk about other people's majors, my major is like, it gets the S word all the time. People do not respect it that much in most cases. All right, so Linda, we got a video with Linda. Let me go get that for you all. Linda, she said something. It's a very short video. Now, why did I do that? I should have just right-clicked it. Right-click, left-click, right-click, left-click. No, it's going to fight with me, y'all. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up another tab. And then that is good. One of my old colleagues just leveled up a little more. That's good. But that is not what we're doing right now. Select items. And now I can do this. And then now I can do this. All right, y'all know with me. I'm gonna go look at the comment section. I'm gonna go look at the comment section after this. The comment section is always crazy on LinkedIn when Linda is talking. So Linda is talking about, it's a privilege to recognize the dozens of medical schools stepping up to strengthen nutrition education, because to make America great again, we must first make it healthy. Now, that to a lot of healthcare professionals right now, they are probably saying that is a contradiction. That is all my healthcare people. If I talk about my healthcare people right now, they are not liking this right now. So I'm gonna play the video. The sound is on, and I'm gonna mute myself. Well, I'll be quiet, but I'm gonna mute myself, guys.
Announcement reflects a shared understanding. Quality nutrition is foundational to a healthy life. For too long, this essential pillar of public health has been overlooked. Diet-related chronic diseases contribute to roughly 1 million deaths each year and impose enormous economic and emotional costs on our population. And a staggering 14.7 million school-age children today suffer from obesity. On average, medical schools have required only about 2 hours of nutrition education to earn a diploma. 2 hours. All despite strong evidence indicating that nutrition is a powerful tool for preventing disease.
So a lot of people probably say, hold on real quick, I can't even see, one thing about LinkedIn, I be struggling to get out of stuff. I had to hit the escape button. Yeah, nutrition, but you got to pay for it. Things are rising. It's interesting. They no comments. LinkedIn been cleaning it up, man. No comments be going crazy most of the time. But Linda posts, I always pay attention. That was my first time watching it. I like to wait. If I know I'm live streaming with you all, I like to wait until I watch it. But she didn't say nothing crazy. It was only 45 seconds, so wasn't nothing too crazy. Talking about obesity. Obesity rates are terrible, because that's what Alex is in. She studies that stuff often. She knows like the statistics off the top of her head. It's like really good information to know. She keeps me healthy. So I think I close that out. So let me see. I got another one. Oh, this is something I need to tell you all as well. And then let me see. Well, I just have to move it back and forth. Not that. Don't you love when your computer fights with you? My computer doesn't like me. Thank you. All right. So this is some news for financial aid. If you get financial aid, not if you get financial aid, but yeah, if you get financial aid, and then if you get Pell, everybody doesn't get Pell, but fill out your financial aid. I am not a financial aid advisor. That's it. Financial aid. I am not a financial aid specialist, but man, it is common sense. You are leaving money on the table. Part of the journey of saving $10,000 and more, like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Part of the biggest thing is saving money in college, guys. Do your financial aid. Like, see, we only think that, I'm gonna be honest with you, studies think that a lot of low-income students are the only ones who get this. You have people from all types of backgrounds getting this financial aid money. And my financial aid specialist guy, we are working right now to get him on Fridays, Financial Aid Fridays. It's gonna be a great show, man. It's a great show that we have coming. Me and him gonna be practicing, trying to figure out like if he can get one topic, give us some game on financial aid. And then, you know, me with my naiveness on financial aid, honestly, I can ask questions that I think that most people are asking, and ask him like, what does that mean? Because that's gonna be good topics, you know, like then we get bigger, and then hopefully I can take him away from his job. Then me and him go to conferences and stuff. It's gonna be a joy. But because we're gonna help so many kids, you know, putting it in simple terms. We're gonna have so many families being aware of it. And everybody does financial aid. And so with that being said, you probably already read it, but the maximum federal Pell Grant amount for the 2026-2027 school year has been announced. So to be eligible for a Pell Grant, students must submit a FAFSA form. For details about Pell Grants, please visit, let me click that link actually. That is, it should say, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Yes, please visit the Federal Student Aid. This is the credible website. Please visit this website, parents and families, teachers, guidance counselors, principals. If you don't do anything from watching this live stream, if you made it this far, if you even skip to the end, tell these kids, ask them, adults, tell the kids. But this is the website you want to go to. If you don't know, now you know. For all my kids out there in them rural areas who don't have the resources, if you do or you don't, in the country, because my mama from, what's that place called? Crawford, Alabama, population of 2. So if you don't do it, do it. And so that's posted literally by the Federal Student Aid in Office of the United States Department of Education. Remember, guys, most of my information, I go get it from the source and show it to you. I'm not going to just, most of the time, I will let you know when I'm talking from my opinion, but I will try to go get the information if it's posted. So the maximum federal Pell Grant award is $73.95. Remember, you're not getting that, and they will tell you, you're not getting that per semester. You're getting that, like, divide that by 2, fall and spring semester. So that's why I always tell you, hey, chill, bro. That's why I always tell y'all, when you're going to school, this is for the upcoming 2026-2027 school year. Yeah. When you're going to school, like, let's do it real quick. Where's my phone? Got my phone right here, y'all. It be running for me. So, did I get a phone call? Yeah, I mean, if I like getting, I did get a phone call. I'm calling back. It's over. Guess all this guy here be. So, where the calculator at? Here, calculator. So they said $73.95. I think it stayed the same amount, but we know $73.95. $73.95. Not you zooming in. And then, yeah, there you go. Somebody said it has not increased in 3 years. And honestly, that's a lot of money still. If they even did increase it, oh my goodness. So divided by 2, that's how much you get per semester. I literally was just showing it to the kids on Tuesday off their website. This is how much you get. You're going to get that per semester. One of the reasons why I tell you to start at a 2-year college, because if you're only going to get that amount, for example, then you need to go to a 2-year or a state college or a university of any type that's going to be below this number per semester. Then what you do, you're getting your school paid for. I want to stay on campus. I want to get a meal plan. They're going to charge you more. When you get a meal plan and you stay on campus, that's $10,000 that you're going to pay for the year, most likely. $10,000 or more. You're probably looking at about $12,000 to $14,000 a year, because normally tuition at universities are going to run you about $4,000, $2,000 to $4,000. A meal plan is going to cost you another $2,000. Dorm is going to cost you another $2,000. So on the low end, you're looking at like $6,000 per semester. 6,000 times 2 is 12. So that's 12,000 for the year. But you could take about 4,000 of that off and just be paying 2,000 per semester. And remember, that will still save you money, because you get 3 along with Pell. Now, if everybody gets Pell in every state, if you qualify. Now, I can't speak for I like to call it the secondary, because I'm in Georgia. Everybody doesn't get Hope. That's a Georgia thing. In other states, it's called something else. So that's why I want financial aid specialists from different states. That's why I want these professionals to be speaking up about this stuff. Simple information that most people don't know. Fill out your financial aid. If you don't do nothing else, fill it out. I can't get jiggy with this. They don't care. They don't care. From Friday. Friday at the Nets. It's one of the Fridays. My favorite movie actually is Friday, though. I'm showing y'all all my stuff. Y'all seen all my save posts? I think I have one more. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one too. Still not doing college reviews yet, guys. I will be bringing those back. Working along back. Hold on right quick. All right. So real quick, I wanted to highlight this. It's very simple. I had to highlight this real quick. It's in Georgia. This is Georgia based. But everybody loves Georgia Tech. And shout out to them for this. So I tell multiple, you know me, I'm a big advocate that you can go to school through partnerships and articulation agreements. The reason that I'm so happy about this is because these kids, 11 of Atlanta Metropolitan State College official, that's the official LinkedIn, but 11 students were who officially submitted their applications to transfer to Georgia Tech via the Atlanta Bridge program. They got in. And so these are those students. I thought this was dope because these students started at a school that most people never heard of. They went to a state college, for example, but that state college that right here, the only reason I know this because I tried to work there, and I get to say this. Unfortunately, I turned them down, but this state college has great tuition prices because they used to be a community college. These kids are going from saving so much more money their first 2 years probably, that they're going to one of the top schools in the nation, for example. This school, I don't believe in all that college rankings. I don't get caught up in it, but stand on top of it. They're going to a top school ranked in the nation. And they sacrifice 2 years out of their life, most likely. And so they celebrating. You see the collaboration. You see the B. You see Georgia Tech. You see Atlanta Metropolitan. You see people who work at Georgia Tech, people who work at other places collaborating. That's the future of higher education, I feel like, if you want to keep it. If you want this thing to be working and keeping it, keeping your job, I feel like that's the future. Then they taking the pictures, had a little setup to celebrate them and stuff. It's dope. It's dope, man. It's dope. It's something that's underrated, something that don't get talked about. It got a lot of likes on LinkedIn, especially for me. And then somebody mentioned right here in the comments. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, something. But comments, they always, people always highlighting the, university, Georgia Tech. But yeah, I thought that was great. I thought that was great news. I thought that was wonderful news for the kids. And why did I show that? I showed that because, excuse me, that long. I showed that because your first 2 years, you're an underdog, Your first 2 years, you're an underdog. Nobody knows what college you went to or go to. Most of the time when people ask me what college I go to on the closeout, most of the time when people ask me what college I went to, I had to tell them, like, I went to a 2-year college in my city because I know they don't know the name of it. And then sometimes I say the name. Then I said I bridged over to the state college, Valdosta State University. But then I always tell people, yeah, I went to Columbus Tech. Then I bridged over to Valdosta State University. Then I went and got my master's. Because people wonder, how are you thriving? Then you tell them how you're thriving. And then they say, I'm being real. A lot of people wanted me, like professionals, like a lot of older professionals wanted me to tell their kids, like, hey, talk to them about college, blah, 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 blah. I talk to the kid about college, talk to the parent about college. Then the parent be like, oh, they want to go to university out the gate. Then years go by. Now the kid want to go to a 2-year college. Guys, college is one of those things. It can be fixed, but sometimes when you make that decision to, like, you can always backtrack back to a 2-year. Don't get me wrong. But if you incur, like, the thing that we run into in this is that people get the student loans when I tried to help you avoid the student loans, right? People jump to the universities. They're trying to jump to where, I'm going to show this again, keep it up because it looks good. People try to jump to where these kids are at. They, like I said, they sacrificed a year, 2 years, right? Before they went to Georgia Tech. Now, these kids might forget to tell you that, oh, before I went to Georgia Tech, I was at Atlanta Metropolitan State College. What is that? It's a school, but I just went there to save money. That's what they really be saying. Like, I just went there to save money, then come to Georgia Tech to finish out. Because most people are not going to look at your first school. They're going to look at, oh, you went to, like, it happened to me. Like, the people I work with now, they just know that I went to Georgia State, even though I submitted a whole resume. Nothing against them. But they know I went to Georgia State. Then I have to remember and tell them, like, I went to a 2-year college too, right? I went through the 2-year college experience, right? Then I went through the university experience. Then I went and got the graduate degree. And you know what I learned in all of that? Nothing was different. I don't care how you word it. I don't care how you phrase it. One thing I like about this career field the most, as long as they got that Higher Education Act that hasn't been updated since 2007, 2008, and we got that Higher Education Act of 1965 as well, ain't nothing gonna change in higher education. So you know what that means? We always got a market in this place. You see how they always say marketplace? We always got a market, or we always got a place in this market. Let me say it like that. However you want to word it. It's Friday Eve. And we got ways and different strategies how you can go to college. You got the way of most people do. Hey, I got a lot of scholarship money. I can go to any school. Cool. You got another way. I got the presidential scholarship. I can go to this school. Cool. You got early decision. Most people don't know what ED is. I think you got action decision. I think that's what it's called. All these different admission ways. Then you got my way. I sacrificed 2 years of fun and name and branding because I'm getting the same gen ed at this 2-year, bridge to the 4-year, join some organizations, build my name up. The funny part about it, they're going to be like, oh, where you come from? Like, well, you just be like, I was at a 2-year saving money. They're going to be like, oh, yeah. Typical university students be like, yeah, I should have did that. No, you wouldn't have made that decision back then because you want to hurry up and get to the university. You just want to hurry up. It's like Alex gave me a great example, y'all. Alex said, it's kind of like buying over the counter, like it's like buying some, dang man, I don't know I think it's like, I don't know, like what it's called, like it's like buying like Tabanol or something. Is that what it's called? It's like buying Tabanol. You can buy the name brand version. This is the example she gave me. You could buy the name brand version, or you could buy like the Walmart version or something. And she say all she do is she reads the back of them, looks at the ingredients. The ingredient says the same thing. But she learned in school that they do that because people get caught up in the brand name of things. And that's where that marketing and stuff and all that comes in. And like people pay for brands sometimes. Like why you eat at these places, why you buy this coffee, why you do that. Now I ain't trying to go down that rabbit hole, but literally that's what you're doing in college. You went to this school, you went to this university first, not because of what it can offer you and maximize your return on investment. You went there because of the name, but you're not reaping the benefits of going there for the name. Now you're upset that you're making, remember we just talked about when you get first out of college, if you're in one of those majors, for example, now you only making $40,000 a year, but you went to a top-notch school like Georgia Tech. And for example, when you could have sacrificed 2 years of your life, then and been working a part-time job at a community college or somewhere related in your field, then bridge over to your university like a Georgia Tech, then maximize your return on investment, then saw like, oh yeah, I got the name and I save money in college and I'm still running it up. Oh, I busted my lung because of this. Let me stop. I ain't doing it intentionally, y'all. It was a spontaneous pneumothorax. But I just have to say that because, like, guys, I get happy when I see stuff like this. I know that these kids save money and they work hard to go to that school. And some of them probably got rejected the first time around. They should ask them that. I think that's good marketing for Georgia Tech. They might can steal that from me. I think that's great marketing. Did you get rejected from the school the first time? And then you said, I think I'm going to try again by going to this school, then bridging over. Questions. You'll be surprised if you don't ask a question, what you will find out if you just ask. By that, we are out. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you stopped by for a little bit. We are not going to be on Friday. Unfortunately, we have to. I'm thinking about taking the equipment with me, not the whole setup, but the laptop and the monitor. I'll let y'all know. But we probably won't live stream tomorrow. On the worst case scenario, we have to travel for military. So be safe. Have a safe weekend. I might see y'all Tuesday because I still do military. And so I would make sure to post some videos on the days that I don't live stream to substitute me, not being here live. And remember, watch this for 10 minutes. If your head starts to hurt, I get it because it's new foreign language and stuff. Play for 10 minutes. Play it for 5 minutes. Anything counts. As long as you can get 5 or 10 minutes in whenever you feel like it, because sometimes you get tired of entertainment and you want some education that can save you money, maximize your returns in college and after college. So peace, chicken grease, and I'll see you all soon.